So, do Rosie and Donald really hate each other, or is Rosie just a pawn in Donald's PR game to get attention for the upcoming season of The Apprentice? Here's Heidi Bressler. She is a former Apprentice candidate. She's now director of advertising at Trump Magazine. Katrina Zish, a contributing editor at Us Weekly, and David Kaplan, he's Star Magazine's deputy New York bureau chief. David, let's begin with you. This is unusually personal. Do these two really hate each other this much? Do they have a history of the hatred, or is it Trump just ginning up the PR machine?
I mean, these two actually don't have a history of fighting, so this really did come out of nowhere. So Donald Trump completely latched on to this because, again, let's not forget, The Apprentice, the 6th season of the TV show, debuts on January 6th, 7th, so he loves this. It's great publicity. So these two don't have a history, but listen, these comments were harsh, they were really personal, and on this time, you know, I'm on Team Rosie.
Well, and Heidi, is this just the way that Trump works? If you attack Trump, if you slap him in the face, he's going to kick you in the gut. I mean, that he comes after you if you go after him.
Well, I do believe that. I mean, there's two people I would never want to personally attack on air. One of them is Donald Trump. Yeah, he definitely does take it personally, but I have to agree. You know, the bottom line is this. If people remember last year, the whole feud with Martha Stewart, it happened right before The Apprentice. I think if it was 2 months ago, I don't think Donald Trump would have been as angry. But because The Apprentice is airing in 2 weeks, not a lot of people know about it, what better way to draw attention to himself and the show? But I am always on Team Trump.
You are always on Team Trump,
always.
But boy, he has been drawing attention to this show, and he's been very busy bashing Rosie. Take a look.
Can you imagine what Kelly has to put up with living with this pig face? Her girlfriend cannot be happy. You look at that mess that she's got to look at every night, that she's got to kiss every night. She can't be thrilled kissing Rosie O'Donnell. Can you imagine that? What's worse than that?
Katrina, that is just hateful.
Ouch.
What's going on there?
Ouch. Yeah. I love that Donald is just totally unleashing on Rosie, and you know, she's doing the same thing. And I think what's so interesting about these two players is you don't really feel sorry for either one of them because they're both so tough. They can both dish it out. They can both take it. So that's why this is such a fun spat, because nobody's really going to get hurt. Nobody's really going to get sued. Nobody's going to get their feelings hurt.
You don't think that hurts Rosie O'Donnell for him to he's called her a pig face?
Maybe. I think she doesn't care. I think Rosie has been, I mean, that's not nice, but does it really hurt her? Does it hurt her image? Does it hurt her career? No. And she can dish it right out with her little imitation with the comb over. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yeah, David, do you think that Donald Trump was serious, though, about the lawsuit?
I mean, I think in his mind, he thinks he's serious, but it really is a lot of bluster. I mean, listen, he has no case to sue her. Everything she said was factual. True, he never declared personal bankruptcy. It was a business bankruptcy, but he has had financial trouble. What's he going to sue her for? Defamation of character. We all heard the things that he said to her, which I actually think are worse. So I think it's a lot of bluster, and you throw around the word, oh, lawsuit, lawsuit, lawsuit. Everyone jumps on top of it, and he's just loving it. But I'll make you bet that, you know, a few weeks after The Apprentice debuts, we're not going to hear anything about a lawsuit, and I wouldn't be surprised if they've made up and it's all warm and fuzzy by then.
Boy, I don't know how you make up after saying these type of things. And speaking of that, let's take a look at what else Donald said about Rosie.
Rosie is a loser. Rosie's been a loser for a long time. Rosie is somebody out of control. Rosie is a failure. She's both unattractive inside and out. She'll say anything that comes to her unattractive mouth. She's not smart. She's crude. She's ignorant. Rosie is a very unattractive woman. As unattractive as she is on the outside, she's even worse on the inside.
Heidi?
Rosie,
come on.
Rosie should just be happy that she wasn't actually in the boardroom with Donald when he said that to her. I mean, you gotta laugh at Donald. I mean, to be honest with you, yes, it's for publicity, but I've been in the boardroom with Donald, and he will say those things to people. He will call you a loser if he feels that way. So she shouldn't take it personal. I think he's just going with the flow and trying to bring attention to it.
She shouldn't take that personally.
No, because he calls a lot of people losers. It's just the way he is. You just have to take it with stride. I mean, honestly, they will never make up, because I don't think she'll ever say she's sorry. And Donald holds grudges, and he admits he does hold grudges. And I think he's upset with her about teasing his hair.
I think he's I think it is safe to say, Katrina, he's upset at her about something. And You know, Rosie, though, is not the only one who's mocking Donald Trump right now, and I'm sure this is going to make him even more angry. Take a look at this clip from Conan O'Brien.
What exactly are those standards?
As Miss USA, Tyra must uphold the standards and values of the so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Okay, she's a bimbo. But she's a Trump bimbo.
A Trump bimbo.
The finest giggling, jiggling, semi-literate cheesecake that a cheap $4.95 tiara can buy.
All right, all right.
Hey, Katrina, let's talk about one more thing that Donald said. He said that Rosie's boss, Barbara Walters, also hates Rosie. Do you think that's more bluster too, or do you think that Donald picked up the phone and talked to Barbara, said, you know, what's going on over at The View, and Barbara let loose going after Rosie?
I think Donald claims that he spoke to Barbara. I think once you start bringing Barbara Walters into this mess, then you're treading on dangerous territory. I would leave Barbara out of this. I can't believe that Barbara would have bared her soul to Donald on the Trump, especially against someone who is on her very own show. So,
but aren't they like old-time New Yorkers? They're going to be friends long after Rosie O'Donnell's moved on to Nip Tuck or some other show.
I'm sure they will be, but I still think Barbara is professional enough that she's not going to diss Rosie behind her back to Donald on the phone in the middle of this controversy. I think she would try to stay a little bit more neutral.
All right. Thank you so much, Katrina. Thank you, Heidi. And thank you, David. As I tell you, that's a fascinating story. I cannot believe some of those Donald Trump statements. Coming up next.